My goal for this love-centered coaching mastermind is to offer you my most powerful mentoring yet on the heart and soul of transformative coaching. It's a 6-month odyssey, a deep inquiry into love, with a group of kindred spirits, each of us dedicated to our own spiritual growth, together on a journey of a lifetime. As your host, I'll be with you every step of the way, helping you to have a truly inspiring experience. Love is the great conversation of our life. Life is all about love, and even when it isn't, it still is really. Love is at the heart of my work as a writer, a philosopher, an educator, an activist, and as a coach. And yet in my early training in psychology, psychotherapy, and philosophy, there was barely any mention of love. We didn't study love, we studied Freud. And yet even Freud, towards the end of his life, said, in the final analysis, in order not to fall ill, we must learn to love. Loving not only helps us to survive, it also helps us to grow, to flourish, and to thrive. It's our capacity to love and be loved that helps us to live a life that we love. You know full well that when you dare to love and to keep on loving, it opens up new levels of abundance and happiness for you in your life, your work, and your relationships. Love is so much more than just an emotion or an idea. Love is our true nature. It's our spiritual DNA. I remember one day when my daughter Bo was about 4 years old, out of the blue she just said, "Daddy, you do know we're made of love and water." I think that's pretty good. It's how I feel about things. I also know that love really is our purpose. It's our muse, and it's our motivation, and it's ultimately what gives our life meaning. Most of all though, what I've discovered is that love is intelligent. Love knows how to love, and it can show us how to love as well. Love gives us direction and meaning, and it helps to bring out the best in us and in others too. On our mastermind, I'll share with you the essential principles and practices of my work on lovability, which I wrote up in this book, but also with my other projects like the Happiness Project, Success Intelligence, and also working with some of my clients like Dove and the Real Beauty campaign, where I was the coach to 2 of the presidents of Dove for a period of around about 4 years, and I was also the coach to the leadership team at Dove as well. Along the way, I'm going to share with you what's inspired and helped me in my own inquiry into love. In particular, I'm going to be sharing with you my experience of being a student of this book, A Course in Miracles, which I've been studying for around about 20 years or so now. It was in A Course in Miracles that I first really started to explore the idea that fundamentally there are only 2 states of mind, love and fear. I'll also be reflecting on my work with Louise Hay, who I wrote this book with, Life Loves You. I'll be talking to you about my work with the Enneagram. The Enneagram is super effective for addressing the blocks to love, the basic fear that we carry in our nervous system, the passion, the source of suffering over our heart, and also the fixations, which are the mental habits that really block the awareness to love's presence. I'll also talk to you about Carl Rogers and his work with person-centered counselling. In my 20s, I took a 3-year program in counselling, and that has certainly informed my work over the years. We'll mention Eric Fromm and the art of loving, and also my conversations with Eileen Caddy, one of the co-founders of Findhorn, Ram Dass, Maya Angelou, and many other people along the way. I'll include wisdom poets like Mary Oliver and Hafiz, and we'll also look into the mystic traditions. In particular, we'll look at the Gospel of John, the Gospel of Mary, the Gospel of Thomas, and also some of those great Sufi mystics who are reminding us over and over again that love isn't just a feeling. It's much more than that. It is our true nature, and fundamentally it is our reason for being. Each love-centered coaching mastermind program is a unique journey. No two journeys are ever the same. I think what I really love about the mastermind journey is that it's very intimate. Remember, we're a small group, and there's a great sense of companionship as well. We really learn a lot from each other. That's what also keeps the whole experience alive and thrilling for me as well. Along the way, we will have 10 two-hour mastermind classes, which I'll host and which you can keep. Also, we will build a library of inspiration and resources on love, which includes a 5-part video series on being a coach. The goal here really is, in many ways, to make this entire program a platform for a lifelong inquiry into love. So let me give you a flavor of what some of the classes are like in particular. Class 1 is called The Presence of Love. My friend and mentor Tom Carpenter taught me the decision to be the presence of love is the most powerful influence you can have in any situation in your life and in this world. So in Class 1, that's what we explore, being the presence of love. Tuning in to the presence of love in any situation, daring to put love first in your life, dedicating your whole life to love, if you like, and really trusting that when we do this, this is the platform for living an inspired life. In Class 2, we're going to begin to build a therapeutic model of love-centered coaching. We're going to identify the basic fear, which is I'm not lovable. We're also going to look at the basic truth, which is I am lovable. And we're going to see how the basic fear and the basic truth have an interplay which in many ways underlines every human drama, every human narrative that has ever existed up until now. We'll also explore the basic trust, which is that life loves us. And of course the basic doubt, which is that love doesn't love us. And we'll see how that plays out in the roots of psychological disturbance, the primary and secondary causes of disease and disharmony, and then of course what we can do about that so as to experience a return to love and a return, if you like, to our innate wholeness and the truth of who we are. Class 3 is called The Anatomy of Self-Love. And in this class, I'll really be talking about what I've learned from Louise Hay in particular. Louise said, when people come to me with a problem, I don't care what it is, poor health, lack of money, unfulfilling relationships, or stifled creativity, there is only one thing that I ever work on, and that is loving the self. And I agree with this entirely. Fundamentally, the great work of our lives is to love ourselves so that we can love and be loved, so that we can love in a way without emotional invoicing, that we can love in a way where it is truly unconditional. Now, we're also in this class though going to really look at then why has self-love been so difficult for us? What are the blocks to self-love? And what is our resistance as well, if you like, to self-love? So I hope in this class in particular, we can make a really big shift where we stop trying to love ourselves on a level of the self-image. In A Course in Miracles, it actually says the ego does not love you because it is unaware of who you are. So we're not going to try and love ourselves on a level of the self-image. We're going to make self-love much more soul-centered. And we're actually going to work with the idea that actually self-love is, firstly, it's the awareness that life loves you and that you're made of love, but also it's an awareness that your soul, your true nature, already loves you very much. And in this sense, self-love isn't a verb, it's not something to do, it's something to tune into, to receive, and to let yourself be guided. Class 4 is called The Miracle of Self-Acceptance. A big principle of my work is this. No amount of self-improvement can make up for any lack of self-acceptance. In this particular class, we're looking at these two completely different paradigms, the paradigm of self-improvement and the paradigm of self-acceptance. You know, the problem with self-improvement is that it's exhausting and that it's endless, and that fundamentally, no matter how much you try to improve yourself, you're always left feeling like there's more to improve. Self-acceptance offers a completely different paradigm. And interestingly, when we're willing to accept ourselves, actually the whole of our life improves. So in this class, we're also going to really be looking at what's it like to be you when you're not judging yourself. What's it like to be you when you're not trying to improve yourself? What's it like to be you when you can accept that you've got what it takes already to be the person you most want to be? Class 5 is all about meeting fear with love. So much of the work on emotional healing is about releasing feelings, reframing emotions, being positive about things that are apparently negative. My work is a completely different take on this. I don't think we're meant to heal our emotions. I think we're meant to meet our emotions with love and to fundamentally to work with them, to cultivate a loving relationship, if you like, with fear, to cultivate a loving relationship with self-doubt, and to fundamentally find a way to work with these feelings, much in the same way, by the way, that an artist would do. A painter or writer will work with all of the emotions rather than fundamentally trying to get rid of the emotions and then start to paint. I think we're meant to live with our emotions and to use our emotions fundamentally as a guide, and we can do this if we're willing to meet our emotions with love. There are other classes on dancing with the shadow, the angel of forgiveness, life loves you, and also creating a love-based business. You know, much of this mastermind is about really creating a love-centered life, and that includes doing love-centered work, and also, by the way, love-centered marketing as well. You know, I work a lot with entrepreneurs and business owners and leaders and coaches who want to get their work out there in the world, but they want to do it in a way where it is much more love-centered, that we're not marketing out of fear, that we're not trying to make people come to us. We want to be attractive, and we want to share with people what we deeply love and what we know to be true, and we can do this with love-centered marketing as well. So I hope that gives you a flavor of the whole program, because fundamentally this is a rich inquiry, and of course it gets even richer when you think that you're taking this journey with a group of people who, for the most part, I'm sure will already be well along the way in their own inquiry into love. So I believe really that the great work of our life is to love and be loved. I also believe that each and every one of us is here to love the world and to help the world evolve in the direction of love. I mean, what could be more relevant at this time in our history than making sure we are expressing our love? Is this program for you? Well, I always say to people, if you get a great big yes in the center of your heart, it probably is. What you need to know is that this is a deep dive for your own personal growth, first and foremost. After that, it is a professional training. You will receive a certificate at the end of the journey. Most of all, I'd say that I think this program really is a gift for yourself. It's a gift because it's all about love, and fundamentally, because it's about love, you're going to benefit, but also everybody else in your life is going to benefit. You know, the Love-Centered Coaching Mastermind really is the most significant work I'm doing in my life right now. I can see how it's affecting every domain in my life, as a husband, as a father, as a friend, as an artist, as a writer. It's working on me the whole time. So if you have got that big yes in the center of your heart, I look forward to hearing from you, and I look forward to you joining me on this journey of a lifetime.